think that the events of January 15th, 2009 were so remarkable?
My philosophy is this, is because of what didn't happen. We had gone through 9/11. The last thing the world needed to see, and the last thing New York City wanted to experience, was a bunch of dead people against the skyline of New York City. They did not to see more wreckage, more flames on the water. They did not want to experience a moment where, guess what? Everything fell apart one more time. The opposite happened, which on one hand is something to celebrate, but the bullet dodged, I think, is why it has this emotional resonance. Can you imagine what the next 10 days would have been like in New York City, with the river right there, with the bodies that would have to have been pulled out of the water, you know, and all the story. The New York Times would have run that same story of all the little pictures of all the people who have been lost. And in that picture, you would have seen some sense of what America is, the different fabric, regular, ordinary lives of people in New York and Charlotte, North Carolina, the crew. You would have seen all that again, and it would have been a massive long moment of national mourning. And instead what happened was our institutions proved worthwhile. The people who were prepared and who's or the professionals that did it actually did their job. And guess what? We all survived what seemed to be an act of God by way of a flock of Canadian geese, you know, flying. Now, I think that's why it's so. You can celebrate what Sully did and his instincts and all that stuff by all means. But I think the resonance that I felt, that this is what I felt when I first read the screenplay, because it had even more moments in it of people who were in New York City who were looking out, and you know what they were seeing? Another low-flying passenger airplane, you know, coming in at the level of the buildings of New York City. No one wanted to see that. No one wanted to see that again. And they did, and it turned out to be one of the best news stories of the decade. So I think that's what it is.